welcome to another episode of Over the Picket Fence. We are so excited to be together again and share a lot of fun and exciting information with you. Hi, Beth.
Hey, Kim. Excited to be back. Happy holidays. We have a great new set here. I'm excited to talk about what's new.
I am too. I know this set is fabulous and makes us just feel right like we're in our living room at home.
That's right.
So, yeah, makes it super easy to talk about all the exciting things we have going on today.
That's right. And we have a lot to cover today.
Yeah.
Do you want to get right into it?
Let's get into it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, 2021 year-to-date stats. So let's talk inventory again. We've been talking a lot about what's available for sale, what we're seeing on the listing side and the buyer side. So when I pulled the numbers again, so this goes through the end of October, we are now at 57% less inventory year-to-date than 2020.
It is bleak, isn't it?
It's a little sad out there right now if you're shopping for a home. If you're a seller, it's fantastic. So I think it's important that we talk to our clients and our audience about, you'll see a lot of information in the news and a lot of stats are in the past, right? Because we do everything at the end of the month. And so like Seattle Times today just reported that maybe we're becoming a little balanced market and things are slowing down. Well, the truth is those stats are 2 months old already.
Right. And it's hard because unless you use the same terminology across all the articles, it's really difficult to determine what do you mean by slowing down. Do you mean price slowing down? The buyers are slowing down? Typically what happens when the inventory gets tighter is that there's still multiple offers, especially in the holiday season. There's still buyers out there, that are hungry to buy. So it's just hard to decipher the headlines and translate them into, what is really happening in the city.
Yeah, so it is true that we have less pending sales because the truth is we have less homes for sale.
Yeah.
So as a relationships to homes to sale and pending sales, we're still off the charts in terms of, like you said, multiple offers. Prices are still increasing. So the big news, again, is it's a little more of the same for this year. October was the same trend. In fact, we had less active homes for sale in October than we did in September. So the ratio, again, for pending sales is higher. So we've just continued to have a strong buyer demand and limited seller inventory. So if you've been thinking about selling, call Kim or I. Let's get your home on the market because it's a great time to be a seller. There's no needing to wait for spring market. We have buyers lining up for houses right now.
Yeah, they are. They're super hungry, and it can be discouraging for some of the buyers. So we do know that more inventory typically starts to come in January, February, March, but that if you want to beat that, inventory coming, it's good to get to the market. Holidays, people are still out there shopping.
Absolutely. And then for the trending for median sales price, of course, as inventory is lower, buyer demand is higher, prices continue to go up. So we've actually seen in our market area a 31% price increase in median sales price this year. So what is that? If you were selling for $700,000 a year ago, your house is now worth $1 million? Is my math correct?
In the 900s.
In the 900s,
and so it's crazy. And I've tracked different cities, as you probably have too. And so, even cities that are not like tippy top on the, hot city area are at least 25% over last year.
Yeah.
So
because that's a good point, because this is just median.
Right.
So it means some neighborhoods and some cities are higher, and then some are a little lower. But on average for that South Snohomish County, East King County, average of 31%. Our sellers and homeowners are sitting on a lot of equity.
It's pretty solid.
Yep. So that's kind of a brief update and kind of getting us up to speed. Next month we'll have kind of the year in review, and we'll be able to look back of all of 2021, look at all the stats and see what we do and end the year.
Yep. that'll be exciting. And then maybe we'll start to formulate and come out with a few predictions. And then probably by February, we'll have our big, predictions for 2022, which is always super exciting.
Yeah, stay tuned.
Yeah, yeah. So based on all this talk, it's kind of interesting, especially in the market, that we're in. Buyers, have so much to do to compete. And we are so excited today to have a special guest join us. And she is going to talk a little bit about the lending market right now and give some of her expertise. She is a longtime mortgage lender in our local area and had the privilege of working with her on many transactions. And welcome to Rhonda Marinkovic from Caliber Home Loans.
Hi, thank you so much for inviting me here.
Welcome.
It's fun to be here with you.
Yeah, well, and it's just exciting to have someone else that we get to ask questions.
That's right. You're our first guest.
Yeah.
Yay! I'm so glad.
And so, we always learn, anytime that you talk about different things that are happening in the market, we always learn new things as well. So the one thing that I noticed that just came out because of the messages that Caliber sends out to us is that we have some good news for buyers.
We do.
In that, based on these median sales prices, like Beth said, that increased 31% over last year, there's some hope for the buyers.
Yes.
Released just yesterday.
Yes, yeah. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac have decided to increase the conforming loan limits. So I will read off my paper. Conventional is now 647,200, so 647,200. And then the high balance limit is for King, Pierce, and Snohomish County. Let me qualify that. It is $891,250, $891,250. So that is a really big adjustment. It's bigger than we're expecting, but it's going to offer some new opportunities to our buyers, especially when it comes to staying out of the jumbo market.
Right. It's 18% over last year? I mean, that's huge.
Well, and it's based on what's been happening in the market. I mean, Fannie and Freddie, take the stats and make this decision, and here we go.
Right.
And so that really helps buyers qualify. Because tell us a little bit of the difference between maybe being a jumbo loan and what these adjustments mean in helping buyers how they qualify.
Absolutely. Well, a jumbo loan is a private investor, and without really getting into the weeds of how, who does what, Fannie and Freddie are sold publicly, and they are the ones that are the general basic, I call it the most vanilla loan you could get is a Fannie Freddie deal. So then they have a little boost or a hybrid kind of amount for high-priced areas such as King County and Pierce and Snohomish County, which is that high balance loan limit that I just shared with you. And jumbo investors are private investors, banks, and they're lending their own money. They make their own rules. And usually they are a lot more conservative with their underwriting guidelines, a lot more paperwork, a lot more qualifiers.
Sometimes 2 appraisals even?
Sometimes 2 appraisals.
Okay.
Whereas in the Fannie and Freddie world, on a purchase, you could get your appraisal waived.
Okay.
So it could be a game changer.
So good news that more buyers in the area will be able to stay out of that jumbo realm.
Yes.
In buying.
Yes.
Great.
Absolutely.
That's wonderful.
It is good news. So we're excited about that.
Yeah. Wow. A lot less paperwork.
Less paperwork.
Not a lot less, but less paperwork is how we should qualify.
And less scrutiny, I find.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Sometimes jumbo investors require 2 underwritings too.
Okay.
So this keeps our timeline shorter and tight and competitive, which is what you want for your buyers.
I was just saying, we like those 30-day closes.
Or less.
Or less.
Those are my favorite. We're done.
Right. Yes. She did one. We had one so fast. Anyway, it was
super fast. Yeah.
It was something like 12 days start to finish. It was.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
we had an
fantastic.
appraisal waiver. Those are my favorite. So
That's fantastic.
Yeah, that was fabulous. So that brings up another good thing. Like as the buyers are approaching, like when you get new buyers and you counsel them through kind of the process and everything, do you pre-underwriting? Like we have lenders who talk about, oh my gosh, we don't do it or we do it. What's your view on pre-underwriting?
It's necessary. I would never work with a company that didn't allow for that. Sometimes your clients are, salary, basic income, have a good savings. It's really easy. And sometimes they're more complicated. And the more complicated ones, you definitely want to put through underwriting. We like only good surprises throughout the loan process. And that just really kind of nips anything in the bud that we might need to get at, anything that's complicated. And what it also does is it makes your buyers more competitive in their offers, which is what I want. I want my borrowers to win the offer, not somebody else's.
Yes.
Go team.
Yeah.
Right.
So that brings up, so sometimes our borrowers, our clients will get pre-approved, and then when they're getting serious about writing an offer, they'll start wanting to shop around. And sometimes I hear them ask, is it going to affect my credit score if I get pre-approved with your lender? Maybe they had already had a generic one from their big bank.
Right.
And I'll say, hey, have you considered working with someone who will get the deal done, someone who's a trusted, local lender? What do you talk to buyers about when they say, oh, well, is it going to affect my credit to get pre-approved and pre-underwritten?
It's a good question. Really, with buyers, they when they get pre-approved, we do pull a credit report. And the credit report, I always tell my buyers, it's like bread. It has a shelf life. It gets old after 90 days. Maybe not so much like bread, but we always have to refresh the documentation. The way that credit reporting goes is that any report that's pulled within those 90 days, it only hits one inquiry to the scoring and on a nominal basis. So outside of that, within those 90 days, because the government really encourages us to encourage shopping, so, we have to say, yes, do what you got to do. But outside of that, it makes the agents nervous if they have, different pulls from, if they keep jumping lender to lender. What you do want is to work with a lender who's super solid, who's got a good history with their company, who's got a good reputation with the agents, again, because you want to win. You want to win your offer. So otherwise, it's just a huge lot of legwork and exercise. So
Right.
I don't know if I can even just segue that into usually people shop because of rates, because now they're looking at locking at rates. Rates are, and I brought a nice graphic today to show with you, rates go up and down all throughout the day. And these last couple days have been, crazy. We'll start I wake up in the morning, it's like, it's going to be an awesome day. We're going to lock like crazy. And then by noon, it's like we've had 3 midday price changes. And it's like, okay, maybe not so much. So, rates are based on the market. Our mortgage rates are based on the market, and they adjust out based on buying and selling in mortgage-backed securities market. It's kind of like, say it's like yin and yang, stock market and the mortgage-backed securities market. They usually go off of each other. So really, you can't really know what your rate is going to be until you're going under contract. There have pre-locks out there, but those are expensive and not advised, really, unless you're a super nervous buyer or you're under construction. That would be a good idea to do that. But with regards to once you go under contract, you really want to make sure your lender's competitive, get a rate quote all on the same day with the same scenario, and then go with whoever's going to close your deal.
Okay.
Yep.
So I hear you saying you can't really pre-shop rates because at any moment in time, until you're under contract, and not just under contract, but then locked with a lender, you don't really know what that final rate's going to be.
Exactly.
Because at 8 a.m. in the morning, it could be different.
Exactly.
Better or worse at 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Exactly. And what you want is a lender who'll be competitive, and if you do your rate shopping and you're like, oh, hey, you're not very competitive today, then that's when I go have a conversation with the powers that be.
Right.
So, because we want to remain competitive, so.
Great.
Yeah.
So then with regard to the interest rates, like when people are so, desperate, and we do try to, talk through some of that with our people because we do need the right people on our team bus, right? And that is really important in our market. What impact, do the interest rates, as you say, they are changing now, with different changes in the stock market, what impact do, the interest rates going up 0.5% or so forth make to their payment?
Let's just take a scenario because obviously there's a bazillion numbers into this. So let's just take a generic scenario. Let's do $1 million purchase. And for our market, that's pretty easy, common. That's the neighbor, it's so $1 million. And just for discussion's sake, let's talk about 20% down. That leaves a lot of mortgage insurance or, some other variables out of it. And we're going to talk pure loan payment. So no taxes, no insurance, no homeowners dues. Okay, we'll just leave all that to the side.
Okay.
Principal and interest.
Just principal and interest, pure loan. So if you're doing 20% down, that gets you an $800,000 loan amount. And as of yesterday, going into the future, this is now a conforming loan, which is great. Yeah, it is fantastic. So I did some numbers. Really, when you talk about different rates, so I did 3%, 3 1/8, 3 1/4, 3 3/8, so by eighth increments. The difference between the payment in between each eighth with that scenario was really $55
A month.
a month.
So probably less than you spend on coffee.
Yes. Yeah. Do you love the house? Lock it in and buy the home, your appreciation, as per what you guys just shared with us, is far greater than $55,
Right.
So it's a really great investment at this time in your home, and it's good money well spent. Obviously, you don't want to pay more interest than you have to, but when it comes to securing a home and playing the market, which I never recommend. I am so not a gambler, and especially not with my clients' money. I'm like, lock it in, let's move forward.
Right.
So $55 a difference. So let's talk about. Let's say the rates are, just for conversation, 3 1/4. It's not high, it's not low. It's kind of ballparky on a given day, 3 1/4 for this scenario. If rates go crazy, and there's been a lot of talk that they're gonna raise rates. They're gonna raise rates. I have heard that.
Right.
I've been doing this
yeah.
for 30 years, and when I started, they were at 18. And then 12, and then 8, and then, so beautiful, beautiful trend. Still to be at 3 1/4 is still amazing.
Right.
So, okay, so 3 1/4. Let's say they do go crazy and they jump up to 4 1/4.
Right.
So, because we talk about the price of waiting, that's a super unknown, and I don't have a good crystal ball. Mine broke in the move, so.
Right.
But really, if you compare 3 1/4 to 4 1/4, the price difference on that was $453 and some spare change.
Okay.
So $453 in payment difference if the rates go up.
Okay.
I will say typically they get a little bit higher in the spring because they can, right? Everybody's buying.
Right.
And they usually bump up just a little bit in the fall. But again, what's historical? It's all new. Everything's new these days. So.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
So the cost of waiting is $400 to $500 a month, potentially.
Could be.
Plus
the appreciation.
10 to 20% appreciation, depending on what our future predictions.
Right. And so we're talking less than $6,000 a year, really, to wait, per year.
Right.
Versus acquiring something and then
That appreciation goes in with you.
getting in the game early.
Yeah. And without, there's so many, your investment planner would be the one to talk with you about this. You really need to have a good conversation with your investment planner, also with your a CPA. Everybody can do TurboTax, but when you're going into this, a good talk with your CPA and your investment planner would be a really wise idea, because they can talk about implications to your benefit or to your detriment. that I'm not licensed to get into, but it would be worth a conversation.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
So in the future, unknown, just like real estate prices. But
Yep.
if we had our crystal balls working, I would say we're probably looking at continued appreciation in the housing market. So investing in a home is a great place to put your money, and then hedging against potential future higher interest rates
Exactly.
as well.
Exactly.
So no reason to wait.
Yeah.
Get the bread while it's hot.
Yeah.
There's no looming reason to think that house prices are going to come down. And even if home prices came down, interest rates may be higher. So that's always the balance in our market too, right? In a worst case scenario and home prices for some reason in the future came down, the cost of buying that home still could be higher because of higher interest rates.
Right.
Well, and and that's the part with the inflation, the increase. I mean, a really safe bet is just to own real estate, because your real estate is pretty safe
It's the
asset.
savings account of investments.
Yeah.
Really, it is. I mean, we had that one anomaly that back in 2008, but that was a whole different set of circumstances. So
Exactly.
still safe.
So then this brings up a good point, and then you've probably heard this too recently. Like, I have buyers asking, like, oh, I don't have 20% down. I'm not quite ready. And so tell the wonderful, magical news that people don't need 20% to start out.
Yeah, unless you're buying an investment property or raw land, you don't need the 20% down. So we have lots of ways of putting together a deal for you that suits your budget. It's probably a better idea to go ahead and apply that savings to an appreciating asset, and then just sitting on it,
So your typical lower down payment could be as low as 5% down on a conventional?
It could be as low as 3% down.
Okay. On conventional?
On a conventional loan, depending on your income level. So
That's
there are
fantastic.
still like these amazing things. 3.5% is another benchmark with FHA. VA is 0 down. There's all kinds of beautiful programs out there we can help you with to get into a home. But 5% is a good rule of thumb. It gets you more bang for your buck. You have more options available to you. So
That's great. So everyone out there, you don't need 20% down. Talk
Yeah.
to us.
yeah,
Right.
We'll get you pre-approved.
Right.
Yeah.
And then work through the process.
Yes.
So, nothing to be afraid of when you've got the right people on your team.
Well, and I enjoy the conversation with the investment planners about that, or with people as they work through those and getting comfortable with that idea. Sometimes it just takes 2 or 3 discussions, and let the answers come.
Sure. Because it could
Yeah.
be cheaper to do that 5% down than to take it like a 401k loan or some other borrowing from some other asset. It may just make more sense to just put less down.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Or maybe you want to use it to improve the property. Maybe
That's a
you
good
have
point.
10% down and, that carpet is just ugly. So you put 5% down and you do your home improvements. So those are some different ideas that we work with.
Keep that money in the bank for the
Yeah.
post-closing.
When I tell my clients, you know what, you might not know what you want to do until you get the property. And then,
Yes.
then the numbers become super clear.
right.
So
That's great.
Yeah. And Rhonda's she's excellent at that, because I always love working with buyers with her, because it's about we adjust that story
Yeah.
so many times, right? Based on carpet or paint or something that comes up that we need to take care of before they move in.
Well, and I think that's one of the great things about working with Caliber is that you have so many different programs that you can
Yeah.
apply, and that you can it's not, well, you were approved for this one cookie cutter thing, right?
Right.
If someone's circumstances change, if their buying power changes, you make those adjustments and you find a different loan program for them.
right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep. So absolutely. Yep. It's great.
Good
It's great
stuff.
to work with that. So, well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This was fun.
This is great. Thank you for coming on and being our first guest.
I love it. Thank you so much.
Yeah. And I even learned some new things
I
too.
know.
So
I know. Well, will you stick around, because we have a couple other things that we're going to
I would love to.
go
Thank
through, and
you.
you can join in.
Thank
yes.
you.
So tips and tools.
Tips and
we
tools.
are doing one tip today for you,
Yes.
just to keep it kind of simple and easy for you to manage over the holidays. Is we each have our own little board. It's
Yes.
like a little arts and crafts project, and we're actually we'll give this one to Rhonda so she can
So this is one of my favorite tips. So what we have in our hands, so this is a piece of trim off of one of my houses. As you can see, it's kind of dinged up. You know, when you're in homes that have a lot of woodwork in them, this works for furniture, it works for trim, it works for cabinet doors. Home Depot or your favorite home store, hardware store, Amazon, you can get these colored pens. So all these they're just little rattle pens.
It's fun.
And you touch up the wood. So I don't know if you can see here, there's little dings in the wood. You just color it on.
and this is just a sample stain, that you can just buy. And they come in different colors. So the pens come in light, medium, dark. So
Yep.
you can kind of, it's nice to have maybe one of each around your house if you have
Yes.
different colored woods. They last quite a long time.
That's pretty good.
If you store
Yep.
them on
Did
your
it
side.
disappear? Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not
Kinda
going to necessarily restore the wood.
Right.
But it hides those really annoying dings that you walk through that doorway and you see that on the trim each time. So
Right.
to your point, we have probably 10 of these at home for all different colors wood.
Right.
Furniture, I have a really dark dining room set that gets dinged up sometimes. And it's just way easier than like refinishing a whole piece of trim or
Right.
a door. It's super easy. And I think these are like $3 to $4 each.
Yeah.
And you're done.
Nice.
Yep. And they last several years. So
Yeah.
That looks
it
really
is.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I use these at my house. I carry this one, it came out of my toolbox. It comes to all my listing appointments. And you do just like the magic eraser and our little other tips that we've gone over. This is another essential toolkit item that we thought we'd share because again, it's end of the year. We're all in our houses a little more. You start seeing these things. No
Yeah.
sweat. Make it look like new.
Right.
So,
You can have a magic eraser in one hand, the pen in the other, and run around your house
That's
and
right.
have it all. Nobody
Yeah.
will be the wiser.
That's awesome.
yeah. So that's an
Yeah.
easy one this time.
Yeah. Yeah. So, all right. Well, then we have an extra special little kind of crafty tablescaping session that we would like to share with you. As we go through our houses, before we list them, we many times hire a stager or stage the homes ourselves. But one of the things is how to evoke that emotion or create like a beautiful setting that somebody walks in and goes, oh, this is so pretty, and just create like a feeling of peace and calm. So we thought we'd do a little tablescaping session where we would just give some tips or ideas for people that just want to know how to create a centerpiece that just has some element of, creates joy and happiness in a room. And
it can be really easy. It can be, you don't need to necessarily go out and buy a bunch of stuff.
yeah,
We have some kind of go-to things that we've pulled together, but it's great to mix and match those things throughout the seasons as well and create something new.
yes, I love that point because, a lot of these things are either recycled or found so we'll kind of talk through that because I used to go out and buy all these great features to put on my tables and then anyway, so now I'm a little more into that. Let's figure out how to recycle some stuff. So,
Well, magically the table is going to come into view.
yes, with some elves.
Thanks, Santa's helpers. So Kim, show us what you brought. So we have 3 different pieces here.
Okay, so I think when you look at different magazines or catalogs, a lot of times I always see books as the theme. And so each one of the things that we're going to look at today has some type of book on it. And, well, if you're like me, you probably have a lot of books in your house. I know you do. I know you do. And so there's so many things you can do with the different books you own. These happen to be books that just were recycled or gotten out of garage sales. And so they just happened to be bigger. And then I just got this beautiful ceramic vase that was just left at a house. And then we put in you could put in fresh flowers if you wanted, but since we're kind of in that fall winter time, we went with a little bit of dried look.
And these you dried from your yard even, right?
You know what? I got these at a little flower booth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But they're real dried.
Yep, real
hydrangeas.
dried hydrangeas.
And I love the books that you picked with the colors. That's one thing that catches my eye is the different colors.
Yeah, thank you. And I actually did this at a house recently that sold. I did not have the antler there because this is new to me, but I have always wanted an antler. So these are a shed from a deer. And so I just think it brings like a beautiful nature element, kind of a little.
It's very sculptural.
It is.
Yeah,
I think.
that's a great way to describe it. Yeah, so just anyway, kind of a fun little element. And then Beth just found these fabulous candles, which actually have a real, they look like a real ember on the end. These are from Costco.
Yeah, it's a set of 6 or 7. It was $25, so they're at Costco now, and they're LED. So the great thing for home and staging is you won't be burning down your home or client's home, which is fantastic. And they have this little glow to them. They actually look like real candles. They feel like real candles as well.
Amazing.
I know, I love them. I'm a little mesmerized, so I'm going to try to move this to the side. We'll start.
Do you want me to move this?
We can start with the next one. So
Do you want me to grab the next one?
we can probably just leave that.
Okay.
Here, I got this one.
All right.
More books. I love it.
Oops, sorry.
That's beautiful.
And this kind of has a little bit of a bunch of different elements. It's just a tray. You don't have to have a tray. I just like a tray because sometimes I have to move it because I have a pet that sometimes gets into my, plant stuff. This is just literally a, oh look, there are realtor cards in there. Just some greenery from like Michael's or Mullbach's, and then just a glass vase that I just stuck some greenery in. And then again, these books are just either from garage sales or recycled, but the part that I hunt for now is colors. And so I love to put colors of books together.
Yeah, I love that.
I think I've seen that at your house because you do that.
Yeah, I kind of obsess about it matching my my decor. I don't know what to say about that. Blame my mother. But
Well, and you said you had a great idea too. You actually wrap them sometimes.
sometimes, like this last spring, I was really into the fresh, like the tangerine clementine color, and I didn't have any books that color, so I just got couple of different pieces of paper from Michael's, and I wrapped a couple of the books.
That's
And I tucked them
fantastic.
in the middle, and you could still have the beautiful elements. I mean, these book covers are amazing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, isn't that gorgeous? And you could just bring in the color of whatever it is you want to bring in, you
That
know?
is
and
such
then,
a great idea.
yeah, and then I also switch them out for the seasons because the titles. I was just telling you, I like to, for like the Halloween season, I bring out old Nancy Drew stuff, which it's fun
That's
to
so
see it, or Sherlock
clever.
Holmes, or some fun things like that, just to see it there.
Totally fun.
I know my boys and my family doesn't notice it, but I know it's there.
Right. And sometimes that's what decorating is about, is it just that somebody feels, that little bit of joy. And so I'm becoming obsessed with finding different book color covers, and then just kind of putting, so you could put a candle up there if you wanted.
Yep.
And then I have a thing for birds. To me, they're always a happy thing. So whether you do it in spring or winter or summer, I like to have different kinds of birds. And these are easy to hunt out. Ross, Target, Home Goods. I mean, pretty much everyone has some type of, bird available.
Yeah.
And then I've started to just collecting stuff outdoors. I had like a piece of burl wood, or like this is just a beautiful pine cone. It helps me think of like where I was this summer, and just anyway,
great.
kind of
Or
fun.
driftwood,
That's
or
great.
seashell, or
Yeah.
for the summer.
Yep.
Right.
And I
Right.
like this too because it gives some height. So when we start talking about just not home decor, but like staging, it brings all those elements like you guys were talking about. You could mix up the colors,
Oh, yeah.
give it a little height. I've done this on footstools sometimes.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
You know, when you just need something extra in the picture.
Right.
I've done on the end of a bed with some glasses and
Nice.
a book and a coffee
Nice.
mug.
Yes.
So you can kind of play with it a little
But
bit.
sometimes your lamp just isn't the right height, and so I like
Exactly.
stick a bunch of books,
That's
and
right.
voila, you don't have to buy a
Exactly.
new lamp.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think, yes, a little pop of, the staging pop.
It's just
which
such a
is
homey look.
I
kind
love
of fun
that.
to look for that.
And then you had a third one too, right?
Yes, yes.
I like this. This is very.
Okay. So
You have
this
a bird
is,
again. Oh,
This is actually, this is what's in my house right now, actually. But so again, these are just like a green, like I found a stem, that matches like a candle color. And then actually this is kind of a blue gray. And so you could also do blue candle with it or change this part out.
yeah.
But kind of monochromatic. And then you can, add different pieces of color in it. But I just thought, you could take the cover off if you wanted to. I just kind of like the candles. They make such beautiful packaging for candles nowadays.
And I can
right?
smell it from here.
Oh, it does.
Oh,
It smells
yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah, isn't
Oh,
that?
that's so nice.
Yeah.
I love the way that they have started to make these candles like all in their own little package. So again, and it's the color, the books, and just kind of.
And really, you can mix and match and arrange these in any way that you wanted and keep it fresh.
Yeah, absolutely. And, sometimes if I'm really, like I get lost for an idea, then I'll just put in fresh flowers, like in that, ceramic.
Yeah.
And fresh flowers are always easy to
Yeah.
stage with and,
Yeah.
Make a room look alive to have some
Yeah.
greenery in it. So,
This
Yeah.
is great. Well, thanks for
Yeah.
all the tips.
That was fun.
Yeah, so the challenge is see what you have at home, make a little vignette, and then mix it up, have some fun with it, add some color. Because you can change the whole feeling of a room with just a couple of items.
yeah, I think so. So yeah, let us know if you have some things you'd love to share. We're always about it, and I mean, Goodwill is a good place to hunt out some books, old books or garage sales, or if you happen to know someone that's selling their house, sometimes they have a lot of books that they are ready to pass on.
Yeah, wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you. This looks great. Fun ideas. Gonna
Well,
go
thanks
shift it
again
up.
for joining us.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. I just thought I'd do a little local promo while we're here, and there is a super cute little gift store near the studio where we shoot, and I have to promo it. It's Kate's Gifts, and every time I walk in there, they're so friendly. So first of all, I want to go in just because they're so friendly. And service, right, nowadays, you're just like, please, give me service. And she's always got super cute stuff in there. And so I don't always end up buying something, but super cute boxes, bags, and just their service.
And where's she located?
She is just in Mill Creek, kind of right by the county market, behind the Starbucks.
Okay.
There in that little strip right there. So
We'll have to stop in.
Yeah, super cute. If I get you a little gift for being our first guest.
Oh my goodness, thank you. Do you all want to see what it is?
Of
course we do.
Yeah. I took it off the thing, so.
Oh, great. So beautiful. Thank you.
I
Yeah.
love the bling. And
Isn't
you
that
match
so
the flowers
pretty?
too.
Yeah.
I'm standing in the right location for it.
That's right. Yes. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for joining us at Over the Picket Fence, and we really look forward to talking with you soon and being with you next month.
That's right. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.